He say, I know you. You know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. Come together right now. Over me. Oh shit! How come nobody told me we were on the air? Fuck! How do I look? Okay. Greetings, every pony. I am GoldenFox, and this is... What episode am I reviewing? What? Ew! Who names an episode like that? I don't think I've stumbled upon an episode this scatterbrained in my feelings before. There have been episodes that were divided in and I would often pick sides, but Party Pooped had me tugged on both ends by acknowledging the faults and at the same time admiring what the episode still offers. I'm heavily optimistic on it, but at the same time there's a few crucial problems that are overwhelming over my shoulders. To put it short, I really like this episode, but I'm not sure if I should because a good chunk of it is admittedly a mess. This is a similar result to what my feelings were on Bats, except I was just more delusional in my optimism while ignoring its actual faults. I'm probably not making sense here, but I'm getting too ahead of myself here. Let's start from the top. We begin with Twilight trying to impress Celestia by inviting Yaks to Equestria in order to acquaint with them after a long period of time. The Yaks arrive dressed up as Vikings from the Middle East. Makes sense, as Twilight prepares a dish based on the Yak culture. And things easily backfire.
This no tastes like yak food! Fake pony food make yaks mad!
Okay, this is my first major problem. They act like this whenever something isn't met to their satisfaction, and even worse, they expect perfection. The way they talk also doesn't help as they talk like the Hulk. The main six try to do whatever they can to please the Yaks, and they become total destructive assholes. Literally destructive. This repeats itself over and over and over again throughout the entire episode. After everything the main six try to do to satisfy them, they get no respect. Jeez, it's no wonder why the ponies weren't so well acquainted with them for a long time. They act too ungrateful and they behave so close-mindedly, and just to add insult to injury, the Yaks declared war because of their lack of satisfaction. Not only was that annoying, it was downright uncomfortable and just mean-spirited. You guys were guests, and you threw a temper tantrum every time they offered you something. Is that how you thank them? And because of how ruthless they are, this puts an endless amount of pressure on Pinkie as she is assigned to put them on a tour through Ponyville. You can already guess what happens by then, so no need to repeat myself there. After a meeting, Pinkie is reminded that she has a party to set up. Judging by their behavior, she's not sure on what to make of since it could result in making matters worse. Pinkie, I can't blame you. Thinking over the situation to Sugar Cube Corner, Pinkie decides that she might make the party work with what's actually true Yak material. In doing so, she decides to take on an adventure to Yak-Yakistan. However, after all the efforts Pinkie's made to reach Yak-Yakistan, we get a joke where she's thrown all the way back to Ponyville by a sled, thus making the journey completely pointless. This is my second major problem. The episode's plot has an identity crisis. Arguably, we have the main six trying to please the Yaks, but while that's one conflict, Pinkie's journey to reaching the Yak-Yakistan and then being launched back takes a huge chunk of the episode, making the turmoil of the Yaks not being as nearly focused in the middle half. As a result, the episode has either pacing issues or the focus is too cluttered. I normally would get frustrated with this, especially when you compare the structure of this episode to Some Pony to Watch Over Me. However, unlike this episode, this has a somewhat payoff to the madness of the story. Ending it on a somewhat good note, Pinkie decides to throw a party that isn't Yak-related this time, and everything goes well.
Prince Rutherford, every time we tried to make something in Equestria feel like Yak-Yakistan, we couldn't get it right. When I got back from my adventure, I realized something. We shouldn't try to make Equestria feel like your home. We should try to make you feel at home in Equestria. And that means showing you why we love it here, so you'll love it too.
The Yaks are pleased and decide to not declare war anymore. One of the important aspects of travelers is that they like to see what others hold. And this whole time, Twilight was trying too hard to resemble their culture. It's good to know that you should respect other cultures, but it's also good to show them your own culture. And I think that's a good message. That's somewhat of a good payoff in terms of its moral, but that doesn't excuse what the Yaks did. Despite being happy at the very end of the episode, they get no punishment for property damage, screaming violently, disrespecting everything the main six did for them nicely, and was given war as a thanks. So, for a while now, I talked about what I didn't like. But as I said, I admired what the episode does provide. What is it that makes me enjoy this episode partially? Pinkie Pie and her travels. While her characterization doesn't level up with Pinkie Pride, she has some of the best traits so far. In fact, she has shown a great altitude of her character this season. But that's beyond the point. Despite not going anywhere in the story, her journey alone would have made a great episode. It's hilarious to watch, providing some great humor that fits the tone perfectly. The random sheep in the middle of Dodge City, getting saved by the Wonderbolts from the fall of a ravine, and the reference to the Beatles. The fucking Beatles! How can you go wrong with that? On top of everything else, anyone Pinkie has met is a whole lot nicer in contrast to... yeah, you all get it at this point. In addition, we see the main six in Pinkie's home where she has a secret room of people's files and preparations for future parties.
Pinkie Pie has a secret party planning cave? How cool is this?
It's notes for the party she wants to throw for her folks' 50th anniversary. But they ain't nearly that old. Huh, she's already planning their 100th too. And their 500th?
I had no idea she worked so hard on her parties.
I felt unsettled at first when she had records of what people liked, but when narrowing everything down, it's what brings her character and how passionate she is at party planning. Even at almost 500 years of parties planned out for one person, that's kind of tragic and yet touching. Pinkie is someone to make someone smile, and she's more than willing to do everything she can to do so. This scene puts more weight on that. Also, she's one able to defy logic of gravity. I enjoyed this episode, but as I said, my feelings are scrambled. The pacing, the focus, and the plot is a mess, and the Yaks were intolerable, and we have a fun yet pointless journey that's fun to watch and showing some of the best of Pinkie's betrayal. When you narrow everything down, the episode itself is divisive more than what the audience depends. I wish this episode was handled a lot better in some areas, but as it is, Party Pooped is a jumbled yet enjoyable episode for me. So until next time, this is GoldenFox, and...
of his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer. I disagree. I'm just getting started. My message will spread far and wide, every little channel of these wannabe reviewers. Go ahead, check the others. I'm everywhere. And here's my message. I am cartoons. I am the best in the world at what I do. And whether you like me, or whether you hate me, I will exist forever.